You're about to run combat and you have no idea what you're doing. Players are staring at you, the barbarian is already raging, and somehow initiative hasn't even been rolled. Don't worry, by the end of this video you'll know exactly how to run combat smoothly, keep it fast, and actually make it fun. And stick around because I've got some tips at the very end that most players and even DMs completely miss. If your party finds a sleeping ogre or a bandit group waiting in the forest, then we have ourselves an ambush. This triggers surprise. When surprise occurs, just like every combat, you still roll initiative, but the group or target that is surprised doesn't act on their first turn, giving the ambushers the advantage. If the party rolls high enough, they might even get double attacks at the start, so setting traps in D&D is really something to think about, especially if you're up against the dragon. But remember, some creatures can't be surprised, and there's a feat you can pick at 4th, 8th, 12th or 16th level called Alert that makes you immune to it too. Now this is where your games start to slow down. Initiative is the turn order of combat. Each round is 6 seconds. When the player says those golden words, roll initiative, you grab the biggest rock, the d20, and roll that bad boy. Add your dexterity modifier because dexterity measures how quick and reactive your character is. Once all players and monsters roll, you've got your order. It's helpful for DMs to keep track because things can get hectic. DM tip, if 2 creatures roll the same initiative, compare dexterities. Whichever is higher goes first. Player tip, if you're next to each other in initiative, work together. Team plays win fights. So we've got our initiative list. That's the turn order. Once it reaches the end, that's one round, and it goes right back up to the top and again and keeps going until only one side is left standing. On your turn, you've got 3 main things: movement, an action, a bonus action. Simple, but how you use them, that's what wins fights. Everyone gets movement. You'll see it near your armor class, usually 30 feet if you're human, 25 feet for dwarves. The battle map uses 5x5 inch squares, so 30 feet equals 6 squares. Movement is huge. Reposition, create distance if you're ranged, or get right up in someone's face if you're tanky. A tip, if 2 melee fighters are on opposite sides of an enemy, think of flanking. You might get advantage. Movement isn't all, you also get an action, the main part of your turn. Here are some options. First one up is the attack roll. Grab the biggest rock, roll that d20 and add your attack bonus. If it meets or beats your target's AC, you hit, then you can roll damage. You need to see your target for most attacks and spells, but some classes at higher levels can attack multiple times with one action, so keep that in mind. Here's a helpful tip. If a DM says that just hits or just barely hits, that's a hint at the enemy's AC. You can also take the dodge action. Enemies have disadvantage to hit you. You can also take the help action. Give another player advantage on something like lifting or attacking. You can also use the disengage action. You can move away without getting smacked. You can also take the hide action. Only works if there's something to hide behind. No box, no hiding. I can clearly see you. For DM tip, think like the creature. Beasts attack the closest, smart enemies target the weak players, and dragons go for the biggest threat. For player tip, think outside the box. Terrain, objects, explosive barrels, use everything. You can also ready an action. I swing my sword when the dragon gets close. It's a clear action to swing sword and a clear trigger for when the dragon gets into melee range. If you're a spellcaster, your action is often casting spells. Spell attacks work like weapon attacks. You roll the d20 and add your spell attack bonus, but you need to get above or meet your spell DC. If not, it fizzles. Some spells instead force enemies to roll against your spell save DC, and yes, you've got limited spell slots, so use them wisely. This is one a lot of players struggle with at the start. If you're right next to an enemy and try to shoot an arrow at them, you're too close, so that attack is made with disadvantage. But if you try to move away to get distance, you risk taking an opportunity attack. So you've got to think smart. Stay and shoot with disadvantage, or move and take the risk. Some spells require concentration. For example, the hold person spell, the enemy rolls a wisdom saving throw, and if they fail, it works. Some spells still deal half damage even if the target succeeds, but you can only concentrate on one spell at a time, and if you get hit, you'll need to roll to see if you can maintain it. Now for bonus actions, small extra things you can do on your turn. Some classes rely on them. For Barbarian, they go into a rage. The Rogue hides. For DM tip, I sometimes house rules, potions, and weapon swaps as bonus actions. It speeds things up and keeps players alive longer, so I can hit them harder. At certain moments, through features, you might get advantage or disadvantage. For example, a rogue attacking from stealth will usually get advantage, and your DM might give you advantage or disadvantage depending on the situation. Remember that big rock from before, the D20? Now you can roll it twice. Take the highest roll for advantage and take the lowest roll for disadvantage. It's as simple as that. Now, when that big rock finally lands on a natural 20, that is a crit. If it's an attack roll, that means you roll double the damage dice. Not double the damage, double the dice. So let's say your damage is 2d8 plus 7. You roll 4d8 and then add the 7. Simple. For a tip, a natural 20 doesn't always mean success for everything. It's just the best possible outcome. But for attacks, it always hits. So keep that in mind. Don't worry, you're not dead yet. You still got some lifelines. When you drop to 0 HP, you fall unconscious and start making death saving throws. You roll the big rock like before, the D20. If you get a 10 or higher, it's a success. If you get 9 or lower, that's a failure. A natural 20, you're back up on your feet with 1 HP. A natural 1, that's 2 fails. If you get 3 successes overall, you're stable, still unconscious, but breathing. If you get 3 fails, and unfortunately, that's lights out. If someone is unconscious, healing brings them back up, even if it's just 1 point, so get them some good berries. Normally, drinking a potion takes an action, unless your DM rules otherwise. For a tip, Revivify only works if the body has been dead for less than a minute, but there are other ways to come back. A wish spell, for example. Just know, coming back from the dead isn't easy. You'll likely have levels of exhaustion and need a few days of rest before you're back to full strength. And depending on how you come back, you might not be exactly the same. Conditions can mess you up. Blinded, poisoned, paralyzed, and more. They often give disadvantage or limit what you can do. But they can also work both ways. If you apply them, you can take down stronger enemies. For DMs, don't forget conditions. Highlight them if you need to. And remember, many effects let you retry saves at the end of your turn. When danger hits like traps or collapsing buildings, you'll need saving throws. For example, dexterity saving throw to dodge a fireball. If the environment causes it, then the DM sets the difficulty. If it's from an enemy, you have to beat their spell save DC. But don't worry, the DM should guide you. If you're knocked down, you're prone, which means melee attacks against you have advantage. Ranged attacks against you has disadvantage, and your attacks, disadvantage, and standing up costs half your movement. So just don't be prone. I know what you're thinking. You want to give someone a hug. Grapple them. Boat rolls, strength checks. The highest wins. If you win, you've grappled them and now their speed becomes 0. If they escape, damn, slippery goose. If it's tied, nothing happens. You stay exactly where you are. You can only grapple creatures up to 1 size larger than you, so maybe don't try it on the dragon, but it would be epic though. Armor class AC is how hard you are to hit. Heavy armor makes you tougher, while dexterity lets you dodge attacks. If your AC is higher, then you are harder to hit. Simple. Now we know the order of combat, that every turn is 6 seconds, but every round you also get 1 reaction. A reaction is something your character can do when it's not your turn. The most common one is the opportunity attack. This happens when an enemy moves out of your reach. You can get a chance to attack, but it has to be something quick. This only happens if they move away on their own. If they're pushed or forced, you don't get it. Spells like shield are also reactions, and certain classes give you unique ones as well. For a tip, save your reaction. You only get 1 per round, so maybe don't go for that opportunity attack and instead keep it ready for something like counterspell. So here's a quick recap on your turn. You move, you take an action, maybe a bonus action, and you can use your reaction outside your turn. That's combat. Tips for players. Number 1, use terrain, take the high ground, push enemies, use barrels. Tip number 2, if you have time, prepare traps if you can, pitfall traps, log traps, anything. Tip number 3, leave gaps, don't completely surround an enemy. Enemies might flee, which means fewer to fight. Tip number 4, position properly, melee in the front, ranged in the back, and protect your wizard at all costs. Tip number 5, learn weaknesses. DM hints matter. If they're resistant, immune, take notes. Tip number 6, if the DM says it's looking rough, it means it's almost dead. Finish them. Tip number 7, share items. A stronger team equals easier wins. Tip number 8, get a whetstone. Extra damage early and cheap too. Tip number 9, not every fight needs killing. Talk, scare, bargain, or if you want, just get the XP. Tip number 10, take hostages. Mind games can win fights without even swinging a sword. And a little bonus for you. Know what you're doing before your turn. Combat drags when people don't. And a little bonus tip. At the end of the day, if if something sounds awesome, your DM might allow it, so don't be afraid to try something crazy. And that's Combat 101, everything you need to know to get started and survive your first fights. If this helped you out, drop a like, it really helps the channel. And subscribe for more D&D guides, tips, and more chaos on the way. If you got questions or your own combat tricks, drop them into the comments, I read them all. Now go roll initiative and try not to TPK your party. And yes, at some point someone will try to seduce the dragon, but that's a different guide. I'll see you on the next one.